He may be the second player, but Mario wouldn't be Mario without his younger brother. Name's Dave with MojoPlays, and today we're here to explore the history of Luigi.
Hello? Mario.
Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. This one goes out to all the younger siblings out there. I was the oldest child in my family, so moving on. Nintendo had already begun to turn Mario into a superstar a few years before Luigi would debut. Starting with the 1981 arcade classic Donkey Kong, the icon formerly known as Jumpman helped Nintendo prove they could craft incredibly fun gameplay experiences. But when it came time for their next big hit, Donkey Kong creator Shigeru Miyamoto took inspiration from the two-player arcade hit Joust and put a Mario spin on it. Released in 1983, Mario Bros. Introduced the world to Luigi. As Nintendo needed a second character, and due to graphical limitations of the time, Luigi was simply a palette swap of Mario. His name at least holds some interesting fact. Miyamoto derived it from the Japanese word ruji, which means similar, but Luigi wouldn't begin to develop his own character until much later. America's home video game market was on unstable grounds after the disastrous crash of 1983 from oversaturation. That same year, Nintendo had released their first console in Japan, called the Famicom, or Family Computer, but they understandably didn't release it in the US until 2 years later, when they felt it could do well. See our History of Nintendo list for more information on that. Known to American players as the Nintendo Entertainment System, it launched one of the most important titles in video game history, Super Mario Bros. And as we all know, it was a monumental success. The NES, like the Famicom, housed many two-player games, and Super Mario Bros. Was one of them. A second player could control Luigi, though he was again made a simple green and white palette swap for Mario. It wasn't until the sequel that Luigi would be shown a bit differently, but how differently depends on which sequel you're playing. Super Mario Bros. 2 was released in Japan in 1986. While he still looked incredibly similar to Mario, Luigi could now jump higher, but couldn't come to a stop as quickly. However, Nintendo deemed the game too difficult for American players. Instead, they reskinned a Japan-only release called Yumi Koji Doki Doki Panic in 1988. While not originally a Mario game, it was the first time Luigi was shown to both control and look different from Mario. He was taller, leaner, and controlled his own unique way. Luigi would revert back to being a palette swap for the seminal Super Mario Bros. 3. As well as Mario's first 16-bit outing, 1991's Super Mario World. But his new look would feature in other media. The box art for the Japan-only Famicom Grand Prix 2 3D Hot Rally and the Super Mario Bros. Super Show both showed Luigi, the latter being played by Danny Wells, as being taller and thinner than Mario.
Yes, Nicole, that is absolutely true.
But the in-game look wouldn't get a permanent transition until 1992's Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo. '93 saw Luigi star in his first solo game. Unfortunately, the game wasn't made by Nintendo. The software Toolworks developed and published Mario is Missing. Dull educational game whose main gameplay hook revolved around answering trivia about various landmarks around the world. Boring. They even kept him as a Mario palette swap, but this wasn't the only train wreck Luigi starred in that year. With John Leguizamo playing the Green Plumber, the live-action Super Mario Bros. Movie was released.
Okay, what's your name?
Luigi.
Luigi?
No, Luigi Mario.
And it is now notorious for being one of the worst video game movies ever made.
Hey, that looks good over there, huh? That's it, let's die there.
As bad as the movie is, It did influence one aspect of the Mushroom Kingdom. It was the first time Princess Daisy was shown to be Luigi's love interest, which would be teased throughout the franchise for years afterward.
Bye.
What would you do without your big brother?
I'd like to give it a shot and find out.
For a long time, Luigi wouldn't appear in any of the main entries in the Mario franchise. He was absent in both 1996's Super Mario 64 and 2002 Super Mario Sunshine. But that doesn't mean he wasn't seen. He made numerous appearances in various spin-offs, such as Super Smash Bros., Mario Kart 64, Mario Party, and Mario Tennis, just to name a few. But 2001 was arguably the most important year in regards to developing him as a real character. It was then that he starred in the GameCube launch title, Luigi's Mansion. Luigi was long due for his own franchise, one that he could call his own. Luigi's Mansion followed him as he searched for his older brother inside a haunted mansion. It was completely different from any game Luigi had appeared in before, as gameplay consisted of sucking up ghosts with a modified vacuum cleaner. This was also when Luigi began to develop his timid and somewhat scaredy-cat persona. Which would be a staple to his character in following appearances. Luigi also played prominent roles on Nintendo's series of handheld systems. On the Game Boy Advance, he co-starred in the 2003 RPG Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga. Which saw him in a more central role than any of Mario's other adventures. It was so well received that it spawned multiple sequels on the DS family. Similarly, he also appeared in 2006's nostalgia-inducing New Super Mario Bros. Which also spawned a series of sequels. As far as Mario's console adventures, Luigi was unlockable in both the Super Mario Galaxy entries and in Super Mario 3D Land. And that's not even going into the slew of sports spin-offs and Mario parties that were released in between. In March of 2013, Nintendo announced the Year of Luigi.
Hello.
For the next 12 months, they would release loads of content and titles to celebrate Mario's younger brother. It began with Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon on the 3DS, also known as Luigi's Mansion 2, which was praised for its implementation of new mechanics and nice nuanced touches to Luigi's personality. And of course, many fans were ecstatic for a sequel to the 12-year-old game. Nintendo also released New Super Luigi U and Dr. Luigi for the Wii U. And Mario and Luigi Dream Team on the 3DS. It was truly a stellar year for Luigi, and he also appeared in Mario's latest Super Mario 3D World, as a selectable option rather than a Player 2 sidekick. Though he may have initially only been implemented as a palette swap for Mario, Luigi has become an instantly recognizable figure in gaming. As a bona fide hero in his own right, having helped Mario save the Mushroom Kingdom more often than not, he still appears in every one of his brother's spin-offs. Even churning out a popular meme, or two, or three, or whatever, he's an internet sensation. But it's obvious the Mushroom Kingdom wouldn't be the same without him. He'll star in the highly anticipated Switch title, Luigi's Mansion 3, this Halloween, and we can't wait for his star to shine brighter.
Luigi's invited to a gorgeous hotel with Mario, Peach, and the others. Oh, lucky him.
Be sure to check out this other recent clip from MojoPlays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.